Let's talk about Somali tea, or Shaah as Somalis call it. It's not just tea, Somalis absolutely love Shaah. It's a tradition that's been handed down generation to generation, and I grew up seeing my relatives preparing it without ever using a single measuring cup. But I know that's very hard for some of us, so here's a recipe that I've tested so many times and it's delicious. It works every time, and I'm going to show you guys how to make it. For this tea, we need some basic black tea bags. I honestly don't like Lipton. I like using these Tazo tea bags. We'll also need cardamom pods, a cinnamon stick, cloves, milk, sugar, water, and some fresh ginger if you'd like. These are simple ingredients, but they come together to make a really flavorful tea. We'll start with 2 cups of water in a saucepan, and we'll add our 3 tea bags. I like using a pretty strong tea just to make it a little bit more flavorful, but if you want to use lighter tea bags, feel free to do that. For the cardamom and cloves, we want to crack them open just to release more flavor. And I'm going to use my pestle and mortar just to kind of break them down a little bit. For the ginger, just peel and slice it and then give it a quick mash. The thickness doesn't matter too much because we'll be straining it out later. If you want to use powdered ginger instead, you can do that, but I find that fresh ginger works so much better. You can also use powdered cinnamon instead of a cinnamon stick, but I find that it gives it a little bit of a grainy texture, so I like using fresh spices. Add about 1/4 cup of sugar. Feel free to adjust this based on how sweet you like. Somalis generally like their tea very sweet, but if you are trying to be a little bit more health conscious, you can definitely reduce this amount. Next, we're going to bring everything to a boil on a low-medium heat. Once it reaches a boil, lower the heat and let it simmer for just about a minute or two. Then I'm going to add my milk, pouring it in slowly. Once you add your milk, you're going to heat it up a little bit and let it get to almost a boil. You don't want it to boil over and just spill everywhere, so keep an eye on it and make sure that doesn't happen. So finally, you have your tea. You're going to strain it into a thermos or a teapot to keep it warm. And there you have it, Somali tea that's aromatic, warm, so satisfying, and delicious. If you are Somali, you know that you have to serve Somali tea if anyone ever comes over. So if you've been struggling on how to make Somali tea, I hope this recipe helps. And if you do give it a try, please let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for joining today, and I'll see you in the next video.